can understand why they did it, but it doesn't make it right.
Yeah.
And that's the truth of the situation. It wasn't just me. I was sitting with a pro out in the audience, who I won't name, and he said that's a mistake. He said that they should not have done that. They could have used it so more efficiently somewhere else. And that's the other thing. You say it's their first land, but they've also got a coach. There's a coach with them this weekend, and that coach should have been calling that. The coach should have said, no, do not use them on this. You don't use. I mean, there's no reason to use streaks on Middle Hill. It's especially when you've got more important hills to come. Especially when you've got, that's P2 to P3 rotation, which is almost a double hill if you play it right. That's so much more important. And it cost them. They could have used them so much more efficiently. They didn't gain anything really from those streaks. And bearing in mind how rare that is and the quality of the team they're playing, it's going to be a missed opportunity. And that's going to be something that could come back to bite them in future. I
mean, it depends on the knowledge of the coach. I know Ink's out there. I don't particularly know how proficient his knowledge of things like that is. Not trying to take a dig at Ink in the slide.
Wow.
Not trying to,
just open it up.
Not trying to take a dig at him, just saying.
Feel free to come back here and give him a
It's not really up to him. It's a team decision. I mean, he's not. I don't think he's the official coach. He's the team
enough
manager.
of you bashing on coaches at this event. Let's actually jump into the ban and protect. And the MR6 from D-Real, now that's obviously a targeted ban to Infused, who are known pretty much as Team Triggerfinger nowadays. The only one in that squad who's basically not really improved their Triggerfinger that much is probably Petey. I think we were laughing at it the other day, like obviously Urban was one of the first ones, then Zero. Marky B's been doing it a lot recently, and now we're looking at Petey to see if he can match the rest of his team here. But then again, targeted bans coming out from the guys of Infused. This is a ban, a tactical ban that we usually see a lot of teams do when they just want to outgun their team. Especially when you're relying on the quality and the slaying power of Infused, they know they're going to be sitting there, so they want to be stunned, they don't want to be flashed, they just want to gun you.
So there's two things I want to point out here. Obviously the MR6 ban has come out, and that's Orbit, playing their bans and protects a little bit better. I thought yesterday against Millennium, they weren't the strongest. They didn't really play the game to their strengths. And the ban and protect is one of the most important parts of the actual match itself before it even gets underway. However, on the opposite side...
Just quickly, Gordo's... Oh, that's right, but as I say, Gordo was hesitating there about the rapid fire. Didn't know who was going to take it, but carry on.
We were also talking to Tommy from Millennium, and he said that he's played Orbit in a bunch of wagers online, and they knows that they love using tactical grenades. So you get stunned, you get flashed. And using, tac mask is a big thing for them, which is... They actually made a mistake trying to ban it yesterday.
Yeah, I heard about that mistake. Yeah. Jerd, they ended up burning 3 bans because Jerd banned instead of protected yesterday.
But I believe it has become quite a consistent thing, the concussion and flashbang being banned this weekend.
It's usually against the team that feels like they've got better gun skill.
And I think they're probably banning out because they know that they love to use the tactical grenades, as was pointed out yesterday by Tommy. So that's a smart ban from Infused. They're playing this game like they don't want to play against certain things. They're not necessarily trying to ban out Orbit. They're just trying to keep the game in their strengths. They know what they're good at, and that's obviously, as you said, the gun slaying, the gun skill. So they want to make that as more the dominant part of the game itself.
Yeah, they certainly do. Just quickly looking at the draft that's actually come in, fairly standard from Infused. The only difference really from Orbit is that Purifier pick. The Purifier has been one of these specialists that we've seen sometimes be massively effective because you can just flame out a doorway, but at the same time, sometimes it is a little bit difficult to actually pick up a few streaks here. Sometimes it's not used as efficiently as it could be. So really going to be on Miss to make the most of that here because it's either going to be an all or nothing. You're either going to get a lot of time on it. Obviously, the drawback of that Purifier is that split second it takes for them to actually drop. And I have seen, I've seen people flame people, and then they've obviously managed to get a few bullets and kill the person that killed them. So it's one of those ones where you've got to be very careful with the Purifier. It's not like the side, it's not like you can outgun people. If you're going to flame a doorway, flame it and get away, because that player will still have a split second to at least put bullets in you.
Well, I think that's what they're looking for, is just to jump in the hill and just spray it out of doorways. Obviously, every hard point on this map is inside a building, so if you can get yourself inside there and just waste away time by spraying that Purifier out. And then it's also great as an entry weapon. You just spray into corners, pre-fire, hoping that someone might be there. You can get lucky,
but I really hate that. I really think it's so inefficient to use it like that. It's not a hill breaker, which technically, if you look like something like Kinetic is a lot better suited to breaking a hill than Purifier. Because you got to remember, it's got limited range, and if you spray into a corner, not only are you announcing in the most ridiculous way that you're coming.
Limited range, but in fairness, every hill is quite small.
It is, but like I said, if you're going to run in with a flamethrower, and again, like I said, if a player's defending that hill, they're going to have that door pre-aimed. And it means that you're going to have to try and hit them. And I said that split second again. That's the drawback of the Purifier.
Well, I
really dislike it for breaking hills.
Well, it doesn't require the greatest amount of accuracy. It's just about flying in there and being as hard as you can possibly can to be hit and spraying it as much as you possibly can to try and get the enemy out.
Hopefully while not killing your own team.
Exactly. But Infused going for 3 utility specialists in this one.
These are very similar. These are the 3 utilities that you'll see in almost every single game mode. They're just so useful. And especially like anything like active camo, heat wave, kinetic, they're great hill breakers. You can use them in so many scenarios. Of course, something like kinetic is a preemptive. Something like active camo is preemptive. Heat wave is reactive. And this is the difference here. But heat wave has got that versatility that it can take down some other specialists. It can deal with some score streaks. Oh, interesting enough, this is I want to jump straight on board with Gordo. Now, Gordo's actually running a Vespa, a gun that we don't see very often. But it is useful on P1 on this map.
Absolutely. It did get a recent nerf, but here we go. First hill. Trey is going to hit with 2 kills to start things off. Petey also following up with
Urban's
the
got
3rd kill to get himself going. Urban using that Vespa in the hill. And Infused just setting up, pushing out towards the broken building just to cut them off as quickly as they possibly can.
They're not even getting near Urban.
Now, Orbit were a little bit unsure of how to approach hill breaks yesterday. We watched them on the first shed hill in Stronghold. They just kept flooding out of the laboratory onto the river, and every time they did it, they just lined up for kills from the lane, and they did it over and over again. It was one of those things, they were too scared to kind of cut their losses and go for a flank round through to middle or through Mansion because they thought, oh, we're going to lose time. But ultimately, in doing that, they lost all the time that they needed from the hill, and they just kept going and going, feeding kills, giving kill streaks away, and the game just spiraled out of control from there.
Well, right now you can actually see Orbit are going to take the lead. However, the rotation has come in, and it's going to be Infused. Have obviously hit that rotation first of all. Zero tries to get quite an important kill actually for those back spawns. Not going to be able to hold it though, and his teammates are going to have to get it. It's Urban who's trying to get this one as well. Does get one. Looking for that second, not able to pick it up here. PD's now going to have to try and cover. PD goes down as well. Monkey B's at the line of the hill. And he's going to have to preempt with an M8. Down he goes as well. And a break from Orbit completely pushes Infused out.
Absolutely. Here's Rory inside the hill with his friend Mimas. As they Infused are looking to get those back spawns. 30 seconds left on this second hill. Just pre-firing through the door, does not want to get this one out. Comes out to support Dario and gets the kill on Marky B in the back. And they still maintain the lead. However, Zero has got in with a massive three-piece to break that hill on his own. 20 seconds left.
Never question the Weevil.
Never question the Weevil. I'm a big fan of the Weevil, Brycey. I've been using it and I really do enjoy it. But Orbit have cut their losses, and this is smart. This is what I want to see more of them. Prioritizing the next hills, making sure they get the next rotations correct. Here comes Petey. One kill to his name. Goes into the hill, gets the second one with the laser sight. This Kuda doing work for him. Here comes another one, challenges, and that's going to be not enough for Daryl. Petey's still going, 5 kill streak here for him. Looking to push out, see if they are coming in their numbers. No, Marky B holding it down on the fire exit side of the map as they come off the spawn, looking to push. Zero's doing the work.
Still playing his live. Teammates actually end up backing up. Marky gets that one as well. Urban now. No, Zero going to back it up as well. Zero is going to actually hit his active. He's going to try and push this one out with it. Wins that gunfight as well. 24 miles. He gets it. He gets the Cerberus at the same time. Looks for another one. Not quite able to hit that second 3-piece here. But Infused really heating up. Now going in front by 50 points. And Infused trying to get this one as well, and Specialists are now coming into play.
I think what was important there is he used his active camera to get his streaks. He got the 2 kills, so he's got full streaks in his arsenal, and they are up by over 60 points here, Brycey. Moving into the greenhouse hardpoint, I'm sure they're going to start to think about using those kill streaks to kill them off the spawns.
Marky B's alive here, and he's actually going to end up probably trying to stay alive. There's a Cerberus in play from his squad as well. So he does want to stay alive, play his life here, wait for his teammates to come down. Zero's going to be able to pick up one with the Cerberus. Marky B picks up one with his RK5. Urban gets a kill as well, and that's how you break a hill.
Urban and Petey sitting inside the hill, just racking up the score. Now Orbit have lost themselves a little bit more. The kill streaks are coming in heavy and hard from Zero. 2 kills with that Hellstorm, and unfortunately Orbit are spawning out onto that P2 sign. However, 2 of them have got a split spawn and are coming from this
Let's take a look at Gordo
side.
Gordo coming in. Marky end up falling off the map, but can Gordo break it? They have actually broken it now. A little bit of reinforcements coming in. It's PD all alone, and don't think he's a specialist either. He's going to go down, but he has streaks as well.
Absolutely. It's a really good start from Infused. Orbit just struggling. They had control, and they lost it all on that P3. Just could not seem to break it.
Incoming lightning strike. Zero just dropping the absolute hammer on them at the moment. He's 19-11. PD 17-8. Mimas not really having a great game. He's 3-13 at the moment. But what can you do against the #1 rated team?
This is Orbit's problem, unfortunately. It looks like they have a really good start, get off to all guns are blazing, and then all of a sudden, when things aren't quite on a level playing field, they start to struggle a little bit and don't just have the kind of ability that these guys from Infused do, as Zero is going absolutely off here. First man to break 20 kills so far.
Oh, it pops the heatwave, but it doesn't actually hit anybody with it. Little preemptive there. But right now, they are certainly putting in the work. They are 100 points ahead. Petey looking for this one, pre-aiming the doorway. Sees one, going to be able to take that one down as well. Looking for the second, doesn't matter. Teammates actually securing the other doors. Pre-fires a second doorway, is eventually going to drop here. Roy Selly is going to try and hold this one down. Heatwave available as well. Meme is now backing him up. 18 seconds left on this one, and every single second will be played for as we go back to P1 after this.
What I like is Orbit aren't panicking too much. They're not,
They're
not getting into that situation where they're like, oh, we're so far behind, we've got to rush this. They are playing for the spawn still. They're being smart about how they want to move into this game and the transitions between the hills, and I'm a big fan of what they're doing. They just need to believe in themselves that they can get back into this and play their game.
Well, right now we are back on to P1, and it does seem like Zero is actually just preventing anybody coming through. Picks up another kill there for Zero, looking for the third as well. Not quite able to get it. His active camo has become available, and Petey's going to drop a Hellstorm right on the top of the head of the people coming for him here. However, not going to be able to get it. He's going to know that player comes around. Will have called that out as well. Urban's going to get his back door. Petey takes the front door, and there is no entrance here for Orbit.
Petey going mad in the hill right now. Urban's also giving him some backup
dropped
outside.
the kinetic as well.
He does not want to give this up. He wants to seal this as much as he possibly can. He wants to put it in that zone where Orbit can't afford to make any more mistakes. They've got to rush the hill and, you know, escalate this into a situation where they can't really come back from it. Mimas actually giving a bit as much as he can get right now, but he's still trailing 10 and 19 so far. Not the best of games from him, but wants to try and get back in this. Gordo still doing as much as he can. Marky B having that scythe out, locking down the back spawns. Petey once again jumping into the hill. He is going to spot that man coming out of Palace. Orbit just a little bit uncoordinated right now. And
is that Scythe versus Scythe?
Yeah, I think it is. Terminator battle here, Bryce.
Well, that's about to see, but Marky's run out of his. Can he now take down this Scythe player coming at him, looking for his little bit more, and he does actually get back up here as well. He must have called that one out to his teammates. And that's what you talk about when you talk about Infused chemistry. There's that purifier. Like I said, it's difficult to actually get that when you break a hill. Try and flame through a doorway. It will be pre-fired.
He has no fear here. He's challenging anything from all sorts of distances. He's heating up.
He loves the hip fire as well.
He's going for it. He does finally go down. Orbit are going to get that scrap time, and Infused are set up for this next hill. And I think the game's going to be pretty much sealed and done here, Bryce.
I think Petey's going to get the cut here. And I've just been told Gordo is Geth Kid. But we'll kind of try and get that one, kind of make sure we do that for the rest of the game anyway. Rory Celido on board with him now, and this needs to be a flawless game from Orbit if they want to do the rest of this. Not quite able to either. Down they go, and it looks like they're going to shut it down right here. 250 to 109. Infused will win that one. Just look at the scores there. PD 27 for 13 with 2 minutes 14 in the hill.
That's what you want from your OBJ player. You can't really ask for much more than that. Over 2 minutes, almost, well, double positive.
Yeah. Loves a good hip fire, loves a good CUDA. Like, yeah, you had the laser sight on it as well. I mean, it was just really effective there. But something I want to kind of quickly point out, we didn't kind of dwell on it an awful lot there, but that purifier, you talked about using it to break hills. It wasn't effective. And I said I really hate it for breaking hills. I just think it's awful. If you want to break a hill, there are better things to take, especially I think they didn't take active camo. Active camo would have been more efficient. I said it's a problem. If you start flaming through that doorway to try to hit the corners and you hit the wrong corner, that guy will just pre-fire you. That's it, you're done.
Yeah, that's very, very true. I mean, they tried to use it yesterday. I really didn't see much coming from it. I mean, I understand the pick from it. If they're comfortable with it, then they should play with what they feel they're comfortable with. But as you said, probably not the best thing in the meta right now. We'd prefer to see some other things. Active camo, as you said, might have been a lot more efficient for breaking hills, especially on... I would like to see them used defensively. Yeah, it might have been more effective for, like, the Palace hardpoint coming off the wall run.
That hardpoint he tried to break with it. Like, it'd be great to defend that one, especially if you've got your AR, which Marky B was doing, holding your back door, and you've got side door held by another of the SMGs. You can continue to just pulse that, especially if you try and lock in maybe 2 players in that hill, one pre-firing. It just makes it very, very difficult for anybody to actually break it. because they know that if they're going to try and break it, they have to push through and they have to do something. Like, how do you push a door where every so often there's a gout of flame? And we're not talking, Judge Dredd when he tried to get into the city way back when. We're talking about actually trying to get through this and trade effectively with the rest of your team up. That's where you use the Purifier. The Purifier is not efficient enough to break a hill. And the only time you will see it, it's an exception rather than the rule.
Well, we're going to be seeing Infection, Search and Destroy next up in this best of 5. Infused taking that in very convincing fashion. Yeah. We'll have to see. Honestly, it's going to be my first Search and Destroy game of the weekend. I'm quite excited for this
wow,
one.
yeah, you haven't seen